I'm Pick.
And I'm Shovel.
Welcome to Breaking Soil.
Welcome, everybody. It's September 29th. We're in episode 9. This is a father and son podcast where we attempt to dig into the news, pop culture, and sports. We're not going to get into great detail, and we have no idea what we're talking about. This is just a weekly excuse for us to hang out and just BS.
If you're listening, we want to thank you for your support. If you're not listening, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and of course, you can always use our RSS feed, which can be imported into any podcast app. We are on X at Breaking Soil, or drop us an email. Our address is bs@breakingsoil.
Well, what do you got today, son? I'll tell you what I got.
I got a cranberry lime sparkling seltzer.
Well, the only thing I could find, I got a tonic water from Schweppes. It's the only thing I could find in the cupboard. So
Tonic water?
Yeah. and I'm mixing it with some cherry juice from Trader Joe's. So let's see how it goes. Because
Okay.
I know what tonic water tastes like. It's disgusting. So here we go.
Yeah, tonic. So I don't drink anymore, but when I did, gin and tonic.
Oh,
for
God.
sure.
I never understood that drink, but I understand now. It's disgusting, even with
Cherry
juice. It's terrible.
Gross.
But hey, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So today we are recording remotely.
Yeah. And I just want to have a.
Do you have an echo?
No, I'm clear, man. How about you?
I got an echo.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not close to the speaker.
No, it's not
mic.
you. I think it's voice meter.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have
I'm
any in
turn
here,
myself
but there's
down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's well, like you
how
said,
was your
we're doing
week?
this.
It's been a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks. I know you've been you've been under the weather there, so that's why we haven't met in 2 weeks. It's just that season where people getting sick or just stuff's happening. So,
Yeah, and I'm
yeah.
on this medication called Brixadi.
Yeah, it's really messing with you.
Yeah, it makes me nauseous sometimes, and I get sick.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it helps with pain. So
Yeah, but yeah, you where you work at too, there's a lot of germs too. It could be both, could be a multitude of things. So, I know we shared in the family. I didn't want to catch what you had there, so we took a break. So,
yeah,
but yeah, hey, last week was the first day of fall, and the leaves are starting to change, and the state fairs are humming full swing, and I love going to the fairs. I haven't gone to one yet, but there's a whole bunch of them happening right now.
Oh, I thought you were
And
going to take Mom.
I was. Mom was under the weather, so we didn't go. And Dad was, he's in a wheelchair. He said, I don't want to go because I'd have to push him in the wheelchair. But he's going to look at getting a scooter, so we'll see how that goes.
He's going to get a
But
scooter.
yeah, he's looking.
The
at
VA
him,
will give him one.
I don't know. I was gonna ask him to check into that. So
Yeah, the VA will.
Yeah,
they will.
Well, he's a big guy, so he needs to get one that's heavy duty, and so that's what he's looking at in there. So he's been talking about it.
I don't know. I see a lot of big dudes at the VA.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of big dudes.
Yeah. So I don't know how. I know you've been under the weather and stuff, and sorry to hear that. I hate being sick.
I'm doing
man.
better. I'm doing a little bit better. I had that. I have the stomach thing with the medication, and then I had a little bit of a sore throat too. So
yeah, it could be a bug too. Who knows? Add both those together, and then you just a bad elixir for feeling like crap. And it sounded like it the other day when I talked to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So
right,
you ready to do this?
Well, I think we should just add disclaimer that we're not very prepared for this episode, but
Yeah.
it's been a couple weeks since we recorded, and I think we needed to. So
Yeah. Well, we'll wing through it. I mean, let's see how it goes.
yeah,
All right, but yeah. All right. I'm ready when you are.
It's time for the news on Breaking Soil.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! Extra long time!
And this is what's happening in your world tonight.
Yeah. Hey, in Israel, I mean, this happened a little while back, but a guy actually tried to, or, was going to assassinate Netanyahu there in Israel. Did you hear about that? Some kind of businessman that there from Israeli guy. Did you hear anything about that?
I didn't hear about it until I saw it in the doc.
Oh, okay. Do you
Yeah,
have a clip? Do you have a clip on that one, or?
I do have a clip. Let me
All right.
let me pull it up.
Yeah.
An Israeli citizen has been detained by Israel's Secret Service on suspicion of plotting an assassination attempt on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israeli police and intelligence officials say the suspect went to Iran twice and met Iranian intelligence officials. According to the Israeli police, the suspect received heavy payouts from Tehran to assassinate Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, and several high-ranking officials. Now, the suspect also traveled to Turkey last month, where he met other Iranian officials who, according to Israel, are linked to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty heavy when I saw that, and it totally get what they're trying to do. They're trying to take out the guy that's wiping them out right now. Just stuff, a lot is happening over there right now. I know you had a couple of stories on what's happening in Israel. That's basically what I had. I saw what you had. What'd you have on that? I mean, what's happening in Israel.
Well, I didn't hear about Netanyahu's assassination attempt, but I did hear about all of the pagers and walkie-talkies
Mm-hmm.
exploding, and I gotta be honest, that my mind was pretty much blown when I heard about those attacks. It was Israel, in my opinion, seriously flexing their muscles.
Mm.
I do have a clip on the pagers and
Yeah.
walkie-talkies exploding.
It's been another week of terrible carnage in the Middle East. With Lee Cowan, a look back.
If there really are any rules of war, what happened in Lebanon this past week has surely rewritten the playbook. On Tuesday, thousands of pagers, those low-tech devices that were high-tech for many of us back in the 90s, exploded in the hands and pockets of suspected members of Hezbollah and on those around them. 24 hours later, the Iran-backed terror group was hit again, only this time it was booby-trapped walkie-talkies.
It's very surprising. It's very bold. It's wow.
Israel has not officially claimed responsibility, although Matthew Levitt has little doubt. Hezbollah, he says, poses a threat much bigger than Hamas ever could.
They have what they believe is a directive from God, and they're going to follow through if they have the capabilities.
He's a former FBI counterterrorism analyst, now at the Washington Institute, who's written extensively about Hezbollah and its ties to Iran.
Tactically, what Israel has done has been brilliant. They have severely degraded Hezbollah's capabilities. They've severely degraded Hezbollah's ability to respond to Israeli things. They're really hoping that strategically, Hezbollah gets the message. Stop firing rockets into our country.
Very powerful message from Israel, in my opinion.
Pretty clever, if you ask me, how they did that. Getting it into their hands of the enemy. Just, I thought that was, like you said.
They got into the production line and were able to insert Semtech into the devices somehow. My understanding is the devices primarily were manufactured in Taiwan. So I'm not sure where in the distribution, line where that Semtech was inserted, but very impressive.
I agree. I agree. That pretty covert, if you ask me.
It made me it made me look at my phone and other devices around the house a little differently.
Especially our
Yeah.
cell phones. I mean, if those could be weapons by some foreign country like China, we'd be in trouble.
Well, they're using pagers because the phones are already compromised.
Hmm.
So that's why Hezbollah is using pagers, because they've already concluded that their cell phones are completely owned by Israel.
Hmm.
Just very impressive. And just to continue, the attacks in Lebanon are constant and continual. I have another clip on this.
Israel's military says it's carried out dozens of airstrikes across Lebanon in the hours following its assassination of Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah. The constant attacks have left a smoky haze across the capital. Nasrallah was killed in intense Israeli strikes on the suburbs of Beirut on Friday. His death has left many worried about the country's stability, but they are defiant.
So they took out one of the big Hezbollah leaders in the past day or so. I was looking at videos over there, and they're doing interviews of people, and then suddenly more explosions occur. It's just a constant barrage over there. And my understanding is the IDF is going to infiltrate on the ground here soon, if they haven't already by the time of this recording.
Yeah, they're doing the shock and awe now. So now's, I think, like you said, it's going to be the invasion sometime soon. It's going to be probably in the middle of the night over there somewhere where it's just going to be. But there's a lot of innocent people out there, and they don't dress in the military uniform. Those guys dress just like regular civilians. So it's going to be pretty hard to, dictate who's the enemy and who's an innocent civilian. That's really what's really hard. It's almost like when we were, in Iraq and Afghanistan, who's the enemy, big question over there. So a lot happening. So I just, I feel for those people, especially the women and children and the elderly that you really have nothing to do with it. They're just, like cattle being herded and, with the masses. And I saw a clip on the mass exodus. I mean, there's like a 500,000 people moving, out of there, going to Syria and all these other places. Those places are going to be overwhelmed. So it's gonna be a major crisis, not just for those two areas, but all the surrounding countries. They're going to feel it too, and we'll probably be involved with that somehow, some kind of aid or something like that. Yeah, it's a lot of turmoil over there. Hopefully, Hezbollah doesn't strike over here in North America. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen to deter the attention over there. I think because it's getting too hot for them. So that's what I think is going to happen. But it's
Well, their
just my
command and control capabilities are significantly reduced now.
yeah.
They probably won't be able to execute a sophisticated attack for quite some time, in my opinion.
Well, I think what's and this is just speculation on my part. They got cells out here in the United States. I think they do,
Of course they do.
and so when all the attention's over there, we're not really paying attention what's happening in our own backyard. And their main thing is to instill terror because they don't have the numbers like we do in, big countries. They just have, going after the minds of people and trying to create fear and so they'll get attention. But
My understanding, their big goal with Lebanon is to push Hezbollah about 30 miles.
hmm,
I want to say north, but I'm not sure which direction. But they're trying to push them 30 miles away from the border so that the rocket attacks that come in
hmm.
won't be able to reach where they're reaching right now.
Well,
And I go ahead.
no, I'm saying this is their opportunity right now because they basically, like say, they got their foot on their throat. And so if you're going to take land or take, control of an area, this is the time to do it when you have them on the run, not give them time to regroup and get Iran involved and other players around or regroup. So I think they're going to go for it. I'd say within a week or two, you're going to see some serious stuff happening. That's just
I agree. I mean, I have numbers from the pager explosion. There was 2,800 injured, 12 killed, 2 children. On the second round of attacks with the walkie-talkies, 450 injured, 14 killed.
That's
High
significant.
injury count, low kill count. All right. China's foreign ministry announced sanctions on 9 U.S. military-linked companies over arms sales to Taiwan. Beijing considers the self-ruled island its breakaway province. The affected military contractors for the Pentagon are Sierra Nevada Corporation, Stick Rudder Enterprises, Cubic Corporation, S3 Aero Defense, TCOM, Textor, Planate Management Group, Act One Federal, and Exovera. I don't know any of those. Are you familiar with any of those defense contractors?
No, I don't. The Sierra Nevada Corporation, I've heard of that one before.
Sounds
I don't know.
familiar.
Yeah, it sounds very familiar.
I mean,
That was when I was in my
I
military days. Yeah.
I know like the big ones like Raytheon, General
Right.
Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. Those are the ones that I'm aware
Yeah,
of.
those are the ones I heard about too when I was doing duty. But that Sierra Nevada one, that sounds really familiar. I just can't put my finger what exactly they did, but yeah, it's getting heated up over there. China's doing the same thing. They're doing they're making their moves right now too. Just there's so much attention going everywhere. If you're gonna do something, now's the time because just everybody's resources are being spread all over the place. We can't be everywhere at once to help everybody, so we have to pick and choose our battles here in the U.S. So it's going to be interesting what goes down, with this whole global thing happening. A lot of turmoil.
The UK government has confirmed that from October 1st, 2025, unhealthy food television advertisements before 9 p.m. and all online paid for advertising will be banned. The policies were part of Labour's 2024 election manifesto and are claimed by the government to be an attempt to address childhood obesity.
Wow.
Social media companies are capitulating in court. Elon's X in Brazil and Pavel Durov's Telegram. I have a couple clips.
And about phase for Elon Musk, his social media platform X will now comply with court requests in Brazil to restart its operations in the country and possibly resolve its disagreement with a powerful judge over free speech, far-right accounts, and misinformation. The Brazilian Supreme Court asked the social media platform on Saturday to provide documents confirming its new legal representative in the country. X was closed in Brazil in late August because it did not comply with orders from the top court regarding moderating hate speech on the platform.
So Elon is supposedly this free speech advocate, but when push comes to shove, he complied and is doing what the Brazil court is saying to do, which is silencing certain accounts and basically doing whatever the court tells him to do. So another failure for free speech in the world. Pavel Durov, same thing with his Telegram. He got arrested for basically not complying when they requested certain information about user accounts, and now he is completely giving in.
Arrested by French authorities, Telegram founder Pavel Durov agrees to cooperate and hand over information of people who use the platform for criminal purposes. Durov was charged with failing to curb extremist and terrorist contact on Telegram.
To further deter criminals from abusing Telegram search, we have updated our terms of service and privacy policy, ensuring they are consistent across the world. We've made it clear that the IP addresses and phone numbers of those who violate our rules can be disclosed to relevant authorities in response to valid legal requests.
An avowed free speech advocate, Durov initially criticized his arrest. He has long resisted attempts to take down content on Telegram and has previously seen it banned in Iran and in his native Russia, where it was later unbanned rather than hand over users' details.
There you go. Another loss, another failure for free speech.
That's pretty bad about what's happening over there in the world there. Now here in our neck of
it's a failure. It's a failure of a failure to free speech.
Yeah. It's yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more and more of it, especially when the government has, their fingers involved in all this and trying to control what's being sent out there.
That's right.
That's too bad.
The governments want control over these platforms. They want to know who's on them, and if you say something on there, they want to come after you.
That's going to be too bad. You're going to say a buzzword, next thing you know, you're on some kind of list to be monitored. And just like the Patriot Act when 9/11 happened, people really just got tapped in, without their knowledge.
I mean, and the way these platforms are used in other countries or have been in other countries, they use them to organize revolutions, to organize people and protests. And that's exactly what the governments are trying to shut down. It's gross.
I think what you're going to see, son, is there's going to be a big influx of people getting into the ham radio stuff. I think that it's old technology, but it's one of those things that pretty hard to control. I mean, here we have to get licensed, but if you're not licensed, you can still communicate with people all over. So I think you're going to see a big influx on that. That's just my
ham
thinking.
Radio operators bounce radio waves off of the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Pretty hard to control that.
Yep.
Right. Well, hey, I got a couple of stories, about the U.S. here, what's happening that's big. Obviously we've beaten the dead horse on this election thing, but you just can't get away from it. And the big thing now is these absentee ballots, these mail-in ballots. Pretty hard. Stuff is already being sent out now as we speak. Well, I was listening to this Postmaster General trying to, calm the people that are getting like, hey, we really don't want to do this. Well, what's happening is a lot of these, these swing states and stuff like that, they have these mail-in ballots where you can mail in. But like somebody said, a lot of these, goes in a mailbox, that's not supervised. People could tap into that, take votes out, or manipulate them. And the big thing is with this person, this article I was looking at, the guy said he says, ask yourself this: if you won $1 billion in a Powerball lottery, would you put your winning ticket in an envelope and trust the U.S. Postal Service, or would you want to deliver the ticket personally yourself? And basically what he was trying to imply is that your vote in an election matters. And if there's any way it's compromised, that sort of, affects the election. So I think that was a point that was made about the postmaster tried to let, hey, we have these truck drivers that pick up your mail. He goes, but wherever it goes and its destination, we have no control over after that. So, whoever counts them or whoever, you don't know what party they're from or if there's any shenanigans going on. So it's a big issue. So I thought that was really important. What do you think about all that, the mail-in ballots and stuff like that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I know that they are more susceptible to fraud. I believe that you should, for the most part, be in person to vote. But I also believe that there are people that can't make it out, and they also have the right to vote. So I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on a military assignment overseas during election time, you want to make sure that, as an American, you cast the right to vote. It's just one of those God-given rights here as an American that our vote matters, but that seems to be compromised in a lot of ways. And I think what it's doing is it's giving people a distaste or a distrust of our whole election process, and that really compromises democracy in its whole if you don't have a sound system like that. But See what
So
happens. Yeah.
there was a Heritage Foundation investigation, and this is a little bit sidetracked to what we're talking about, but they essentially went undercover to immigrants and asked them, "Are you registered to vote? Are you planning on registering to vote?" And sure enough, they were registered, illegal immigrants, and they have it on camera.
That's just
So
wrong on
yeah,
all levels. Yeah.
there is voting fraud occurring, and people need to be on the watch for it.
Yeah, that's just wrong. I mean, as an American, that's, being born in America. If you are going to be an American, you need to go through the whole process like everybody and show your loyalty to this country and not just be giving it to you because you crossed the border. I think that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about, and I don't know if well, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've heard of Tupperware before, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they filed bankruptcy, and the reason I brought this up is because my wife knew, I guess, or babysat somebody who was really big into the Tupperware, and it was a big deal back in like from the 70s all the way until I was, to present day, buying Tupperware, plastic containers. But they filed, Chapter 11. I mean, it was a 78-year-old company. And what was really good about it is that, moms that were home with their kids, if they wanted to sell and have parties, just like Avon, that kind of business model. And at one point they were in Target Tupperware. I didn't know that, but I guess their company's going down, the restructuring. I don't even know if it's going to be totally gone forever. I'm not sure, but I just saw this article and I wanted to say something about it.
Yep, I got a clip.
Oh, you do? Good.
Yeah.
Finally tonight, for Tupperware, the party is over. The iconic brand, once a staple of American kitchens, filed this week for bankruptcy, citing what it called macroeconomic challenges.
To find out about Tupperware parties, look in the yellow pages under housewares or plastics.
Not anymore. Tupperware, the company that once symbolized innovation, is going the way of the phone book. For almost 8 decades, Tupperware has produced plastic containers of every size and color, the epitome of kitchen kitsch. Founded by Earl Tupper in 1942, his business model was revolutionary.
The one way to buy Tupperware is a fun way.
He offered women the opportunity to make their own money in their own homes by throwing a party for the neighbors to sell them Tupperware. At its height, the home-based sales force numbered more than 3 million. But to many, Tupperware is more than just plastic, holding not just leftovers, but memories. Really locks it in. Durable, some of it has passed down through generations as heirlooms. And while Tupperware struggled to stay relevant in a food delivery world,
welcome to my very first Tupperware party.
The brand remained pop culture cool.
These are some of the finest plastic products on the household market.
So we still feeling pretty good about this 32-piece set here.
Now the brand risks passing into history, its lid sealed with a burp. But like a plastic time capsule, Tupperware will long preserve a piece of American history, the post-war era, suburbia, and kitchens 1950s style. Happy days indeed.
That was quite a clip. I mean, that was yeah, I don't know. It's just too bad. It's just the way it is. Innovation, I guess, So see what happens here in the US. But that was definitely an iconic company for a long time.
Yeah, I think that we growing up had at least one Tupperware container.
Oh, we had many Tupperware containers, son. And there was a lot of little gadgets, how to open this and just a lot of little things other than they sold a lot of other little gadgets that came along with all to do with houseware, to, running a kitchen and stuff like that. So it was pretty neat. Mom knew somebody who, were made a really good living off of it. And she used to babysit their kids. That's how she told me. I said, well, I didn't know you can make that much money selling Tupperware. Goes, oh yeah, they were like regional managers or something like that, controlling the whole area. And they they did really well with it. Basically, the American dream, capitalism, So
Sure.
the hurricane, Helene, that was brutal. Category 4 here in the U.S. Do you have any clips on that?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah, they actually at work were getting volunteers to send down there. They're hurting pretty bad.
Oh, really? You have people from work going down to help those
Yeah.
people down there? Wow.
Yeah.
That's yeah, they said it was one of the worst ones they've seen in a long time. So,
It sure does look like it based off of the videos that I've seen.
yeah.
Billions of dollars of devastation. Here's a clip.
All right.
Tonight, dozens are dead and millions are trying to pick up the pieces after Helene made landfall earlier this week as a Category 4 hurricane. Christian Benavides reports the property damage alone is estimated to be in the billions.
Helene left behind a path of destruction after making landfall in Florida and making its way through the southeast. In Tennessee, National Guard's helicopters spent hours airlifting more than 50 people, including some patients, off the roof of a hospital where they had been trapped by floodwater.
Rescues have been made, attempts have been made. Some people are stranded on the roofs of their homes and places like that.
In Georgia and the Carolinas, severe flooding led to a number of rescues. In Asheville, North Carolina, residents were told to shelter in place as life-threatening floods damaged homes, toppled trees, and knocked out power to more than 800,000 people.
This is one of the worst storms in modern history for parts of western North Carolina. The end of the rain is not the end of the threat.
Boy, that's
devastation.
Yeah, because the aftermath of it, when the water gets so embedded in the soil, I've seen clips of telephone poles flopping over that have all those electrical lines because the ground's so saturated, doesn't have any support, and these poles start bending over, and man, that's a lot of electricity going into the water, and it just creates a lot of havoc.
I've seen bridges completely get swallowed up by the water. Literally just collapsing and being taken completely over by rushing water.
I'll deal with a snowstorm and an ice storm instead of like a hurricane that they have down south. That's just total devastation. And it takes years probably to recover from something like that.
Yeah, no question.
Well, the last thing I had in the U.S. news, big debate coming up with Waltz and Vance. Do you have anything on that? I mean, I didn't really do too much about it. We've heard a little bit about Vance, a little bit about Waltz, what he's about, and see if that's going to sway the election at all. I don't think it's going to have that much impact. What do you think?
I doubt the vice presidential debate has any impact, but I'm still curious to watch it. I think JD is going to swallow Walz whole.
Yeah, young guy gets an old guy, but that guy Waltz has been around the pike a couple times. Vance is a young gun, but yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Vance is gonna.
I think JD has a better education.
Well, we'll see what happens. That's this Tuesday. It's going to be October the 1st at 9 p.m. It's going to be on CBS. So that's what's happening this Tuesday. What about you? Have anything else in the U.S. news? I covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. It's been a couple weeks now, but the second Trump assassination happened. I'm not going to say the shooter's name. I agree with Ben Shapiro when he says that saying the gunman's name in any shooting is exactly what the shooters want. So I won't identify the name of shooters when reporting such events. But this guy recruited people to go fight in the Ukrainian Foreign Legion, officially called the International Legion for the Defense of Ukraine, and was reportedly paying people to go fight. He had a GoPro and ceramic vests, along with an AK-style assault rifle with a scope. The Secret Service spotted the barrel of the gun poking through the golf course fence. He was on the public side of the course. He initially got away, but someone noticed him leaving out of the bushes and getting into a black vehicle and caught the license plate. They actually caught the individual on the highway. The shooter did have a criminal record with a lot of charges, but only one felony possession for an automatic weapon. I believe the charge officially was declared a weapon of mass destruction. That was the felony charge that he had. I don't know what else you want to talk about on this, but it's pretty scary that our potential future president has now past president was almost assassinated now twice. I mean, somebody's going to get him if they keep they keep this rhetoric up. You can expect more of these attempts on his life.
That's too bad, because that was right in his backyard, right in, on his golf course. That's pretty crazy that twice in 1 year, and it's so public.
Twice in 100 days.
I know. And it just so happens to be, why any other time, right? It's because of this election. So it's tragic that is happening in our country. You hear that in other countries, but it's happening right in our own backyard. It's just too bad. You want to call it on the U.S. news, or do you want to keep going? I know you had quite other things going on.
I'll play one other clip regarding the Murdoch family.
Okay.
It's interesting because if anybody's seen the show Succession, that family is basically what the story is based on. And right now, Rupert is trying to change the trust control, which is right now in his 4 children's name, but he wants Lachlan Murdoch to have full control of the trust because he's the only conservative out of the bunch. And he's worried that if the other 3 have their hands involved in it, that Fox News and News Corp will end up being more liberal. Here's a clip.
Real life Succession. Rupert Murdoch is facing off against 3 of his children in a legal fight that could decide the future of his conservative media empire. Rush up here with the details. Boy, it does seem like it's ripped straight from that TV show.
It does. Feels like ripped from the headlines of that TV show, like life imitating art here. It reads like an episode of Succession, that dramatic behind the scenes battle between Rupert Murdoch and 3 of his children at stake, veto power over one of the most influential media companies in the world.
This morning, the family believed to be the inspiration behind the HBO hit show Succession.
Everything I've done in my life, I've done for my children.
Where 4 siblings battle it out for control of their father's company, apparently locked in a similar battle playing out in real life. According to the New York Times, 93-year-old Rupert Murdoch allegedly surprised 3 of his children by filing to change an irrevocable trust to ensure his eldest son, Lachlan, has sole power over the business when he dies.
I'm the eldest boy!
The reported goal, keeping News Corp's conservative leanings intact. The trust, designed 25 years ago, had previously put the conglomerate, which owns Fox News, The Wall Street Journal, The New York Post, and several international outlets, in the hands of all of Murdoch's 4 oldest children. Murdoch explaining this decision in a 2006 interview.
If I go under a bus tomorrow, it'll be the 4 of them will have to decide which of the ones should lead them.
But the New York Times reporting that the family fractured after Murdoch and Lachlan allegedly pushed Fox News further to the right when Donald Trump was in office. Now the mogul reportedly arguing in court that the only way to preserve the empire and protect its value is by giving Lachlan veto power so he can't be challenged.
Well, what's happening, it seems like the old guard is passing the baton. That's the right doing that. The left is doing the same thing. You know who George Soros is, right, son?
Yeah, he's buying a bunch of radio stations.
Yeah, he's the Open Society Foundation, where they give money out, and mainly they fund a lot of questionable things going on. Well, his son, Alexander Soros, is like going to be the chair of that, and I guess it's like a 501, where it's like a foundation where you can hide a lot of these wealthy people put these money in foundation, and guess who runs them? Their children. So basically they pass on their wealth without getting taxed by the government. So it's really how you see the old guard passing that along to their kids, and hopefully they continue their agenda, so it's going to be really interesting this next 20 or 30 years, because the changing of the guard is happening. Basically the wealth is being transferred over, and they're saying this is one of the biggest times in our generation that there's the biggest transfer of wealth moving over. So we'll see what happens to our world and here in the US, but that's my take on that. I mean, do you have any rebuttal on that or anything, or
No, we
no?
got to move on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hey, you've seen that SNL?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, they're in their 50th season, and their boss, Lorne Michaels, is, he's showing what's up and coming and what he's going to do in this 50th season is that he's going to bring a lot of the old people from the past, the alumni of past SNL seasons. So it should be pretty good. I know I'm going to start watching them. So, Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, these are all the old timers, and, Sanders, just a whole bunch of people in that show, really, really, really did well for themselves in the entertainment business. So, what do you think about all that SNL thing?
I love SNL. I watch it regularly. There's very few episodes of SNL that I miss, and if I do miss it, I usually go back and watch them. It's just something that I like to watch.
Well, it's going to be on this whole season. We'll see how that goes.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, the other thing I saw on
Big Brother.
What's that?
I said, do you want to talk about Big Brother?
Yeah, finally, Angela got voted out.
Well, it was a double eviction.
I know.
So Leia and Angela got voted out.
Yeah, that was finally. Yeah, I was waiting. It took so long to get her out of there. I was surprised as far as she went, but the 5 people left. Do you know their names?
It's Rabina.
Yep, that's one.
Mackenzie.
Okay, that's 2.
Cam.
That's 3. Who's Rabina's sidekick?
I can't remember his name.
Chemo,
that's right.
And the one that's running the whole show there, what's her name?
Chelsea.
Yeah, if they were smart, they would take her out, because she is like playing it really well.
Yeah.
So
she's half holy, half ratchet. That's what she says.
she's her social game's amazing, but it's stuff's going to start coming to an end, because they got to close it up, I think, sometime in October. So things are going to be happening the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be good TV.
Did you hear about P. Diddy?
No, until I saw it on here. I knew that he had gotten arrested, and they had charges against him. Did they convict him, or is it's still in court?
Well, he's not convicted, but he's charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He was denied bail because of a flight risk and a danger to community. Those are the 2 reasons the judge cited. He has a net worth of 400. It's not billion, 400 million.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a lot
Not
of billions. Yeah.
No, 400 million. But he did offer to turn himself in before he got arrested, and they said no. I do have a clip real quick here.
Okay.
Moving further afield now, American music star Sean P. Diddy Combs has been arrested in Manhattan in New York. Now, several national U.S. media outlets have confirmed this development following a grand jury indictment, likely in relation to several lawsuits that have been filed against Combs that accuse him of sexual assault. A criminal federal investigation had also been ongoing for months. Specific charges against the music producer are not immediately clear. The rapper and music mogul was also seen on a video first obtained by CNN in May, showing him violently beating his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura in Los Angeles in a hotel back in 2016. Ventura filed a lawsuit against Combs last November, a matter that he settled in one day. Now, he has apologized via a post on social media, taking full responsibility and calling his actions inexcusable. Combs was also accused in additional lawsuits of sexual assault and sex trafficking. Federal agents raided his Los Angeles and Miami Beach, Florida homes in March while seizing his electronic devices. Combs' attorney said that they were disappointed with the decision to pursue what they believe is an unjust prosecution.
Yeah, he's a real piece of garbage.
Well, he's got a lot of money, so you know how that story goes. I'm pretty sure he's going to get some kind of plea. He's definitely going to do some time, it looks like.
Oh, there's no question.
It just
I think he's but I think that there are people at his parties that are famous that he's going to disclose, maybe even as part of his deal. So I think this story is far from over.
Especially if politicians are involved, stuff will start happening. So I think he'll get a plea deal. He'll do time. He'll get a status on him, and he's going to be segregated in prison. I know that. They won't have him. They'll have him in protective custody the whole time.
Yep, that's very true. All right, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's keep it rolling, man.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
He does exist!
Do exist.
I want to ask you about when the angels sang to you.
The only thing I got this week, son, that in the past couple of weeks, it's always about other people helping other people, and I'm not sure if you got the clip on this one.
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay, no, it's all right. It's all right. It's about a 12-year-old girl in Chicago who volunteers and gives back to the homeless. It's called Chai Care, and what was really neat is she was really well spoken. Somebody who's in the adolescent years, they're usually thinking about, other people and, their girlfriends and boyfriends and, they're just all about themselves. And this 12-year-old girl is giving back and, and it just, she was just so well spoken. I wish I would have had the clip there. I couldn't really,
Sorry, man.
It's all right. It's all right. But the thing is that she was helping and, her dad, saw something here and she got involved and she's just volunteering her time. And the clip was really moving for me. But again, it was about somebody helping another person or other people as well in a group that, just things have happened in their lives and, sometimes not of their own doing, just, things happen in life. I'm hoping that, if anybody's listening to this, that, if you ever get a chance to listen to, any random acts of kindness, it would be really neat. It sort of touches your heart and sometimes it gives you being, grateful for what you have, because a lot of times we look at what we don't have and we have a lot compared to a lot of people. So we're pretty blessed.
Here, let me see if I can play it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be better.
A 12-year-old from Chicago's Hyde Park neighborhood is making a difference. She's feeding the hungry and she wants other kids to join her.
V-Win tells us why she's giving back.
In her spare time, 12-year-old Zola Orlov likes to do karate, play her tuba, and now volunteer.
I think this has changed me because it has given me like a bigger view and I've been able to I've now seen the world differently.
Every other Sunday for the past year and a half, she's been out and about with Chai Care, handing out meals and other basic items to help the homeless and now migrant families.
It made me feel good. I knew immediately that was definitely something I wanted to do because it was just the perfect way to help people.
The 7th grader says she has a desire to help after seeing the problem firsthand and wanted to give back.
I see homeless people and it just makes me sad. We have more than they have and I just want to be able to give back and help the people who don't have everything that we do. We see a lot of migrant families on Michigan, and with like kids and stuff, like that is really important to like ShyCare to help like the kids and stuff that are on the streets.
Touching.
All right. I don't think we have time for a game.
Yes, we do, but we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Oh, you have a couple stories? No, we got the weekend history. Yeah.
Oh, play a game. It is next.
Yeah,
We'll play a quick round of Family Feud, okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
Shall we play a game?
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
It's time for a game.
All right. So let's do a couple of rounds of Family Feud, okay?
Okay, it sounds good.
Sound okay?
Yep.
All right. So let's see. Name something that thrill seekers love to ride on.
Roller coaster.
Ding.
Okay.
That's the top.
Okay, that's the
number
top
one
one.
result. 77 people out of 100.
How about water skiing?
Eh.
Cliff jumping?
Eh.
No. Okay, one more. Ride. They would say ride. What about downhill skiing?
No.
No. Wow.
No.
What were they?
The second one is motorcycle.
Okay.
The third answer on the board is hang glider.
Oh, hang glider.
Yeah.
My wife wants to do that.
And number 4 is zip line.
Oh, zip line. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like some of your answers better. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Name something people try to squeeze into.
Oh, jeans or clothes.
Ding.
Yeah, to squeeze into.
That's the top.
That's number
result.
1. Okay.
Yep, tight clothes / shoes.
Shoes, right? Okay. Squeeze into. Squeeze into. I'm trying to think. Telephone booth? No, you don't need to squeeze into a telephone booth. Yeah. Let's see. What's the other one? Squeeze into. A grocery line or something like that. Waiting in line, trying to squeeze in. Okay. Last one. Squeeze into. Oh boy. Squeeze into. I don't know.
All right.
What are they?
Parking spot was number 2.
Oh yeah.
A crowded bus was number 3.
Okay. Yep.
And a dining booth.
Oh, dining booth.
Never gonna get that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do one more.
Okay, one more.
All right. This one has a lot of answers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 answers.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
That's a lot. Okay. See if I can get a couple.
Name a question that mothers love to ask their grown sons.
Their mothers ask their growing sons.
Name a question that mothers love to ask their grown sons.
Are you protecting yourself? No.
No.
Okay. Are you eating your vegetables?
Ding.
Okay.
Are you eating enough?
Yeah. Are you doing your studies? No. Who is your girlfriend? Or who are you dating?
Ding.
Okay.
That's the top answer.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah. Where are you going to college? Really? Wow. Well, what were they?
You have one more.
Oh, I thought I had 3 buzzers already.
No, you got 2.
Okay. What? When their mother asks her, are you getting enough sleep? What are they? I'm pretty sure you had mom ask you these questions. Did
Having kids.
Oh, you having
Are you
kids?
having kids?
Right.
Are you eating enough? We said that one.
Yep.
Do you love me or miss me?
Mm,
How are you?
definitely.
Are you making money?
Oh, yes.
Are you cleaning? And last, are you having sex?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one more.
Okay, all right. One more.
This is because you're doing terrible.
I am doing absolutely terrible.
Name a musical instrument people strum.
Strum?
Yes.
Oh, that should be pretty easy.
Yep.
Okay,
Should
first
be.
first one is a guitar.
Ding.
Okay.
That's the top answer.
Oh yeah, of course. Strum. A ukulele.
Ding. Number
banjo?
3 answer.
A banjo?
Ding. Number 2 answer. You're never gonna get the last one.
Really? A xylophone?
Never. Xylophone you don't strum.
No, I forgot what the name is. No. I see those. I don't know what they're called, but it's like a guitar laying down on its back.
A guitar.
A zitar, yeah.
No, it's a heatar. I think is what it's called, but that's not what it is.
Strum. Oh. Strum.
I'll give you a hint.
Yes.
Angels.
Oh, harp.
Yep. Ding.
Okay. All right.
And that's how you play a game.
Okay. I'll have to find one. I have one that somebody in the family gave me. I'm going to give it to you one of these episodes.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's move into this week in history.
I didn't get anything this week. I know you had a couple, so.
I just grabbed a couple. They're pretty lame. I guess James Dean died September 30th, 1955 at the young age of 24, shortly after finishing the film Giant. Have you ever seen that movie?
I think it's about oil well. I think I have seen it.
Okay. I don't know James Dean that well. I
Oh
know,
yeah. He was like the Tom Cruise of our time. He was really really big figure back in the, 50s.
Well, that's even before your time pretty much.
Oh yeah, it was
isn't it?
pretty before my time, yeah. But I just remember when I was younger, I watched a couple of his movies, and he was really slick. He reminded me of Tom Cruise. Like
he's got like a leather jacket type, right?
Right, exactly. Like a Fonzie, but more
Like
cooler.
a Fonzie. Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking. Fonzie.
Right.
On September 25th, 1949, the Soviet Union confirmed for the first time that it possessed an atomic weapon. The Soviet Union had, on August 29th, detonated a 4.6-ton nuclear bomb dubbed RDS-1, or Fast Lightning. The device, similar in design to the U.S. Fat Man bomb, had been exploded at a testing facility in Kazakhstan and produced an explosive yield equivalent to 22,000 kilotons of TNT. So that was the first time the Soviet Union got the bomb.
Yeah. So when they started flexing their muscles, you got the big one, got the big bomb that could do damage. And seems like everybody has to have one to show power nowadays.
Well, it's a deterrent, right?
Right.
You have to have it to be able to negotiate. If you have a bomb and you point it at somebody and say, "I'm going to shoot this unless fill in the blank," right? It's like a blank check.
Right. Yeah, it's and I when I was in the military, in the medical field, we saw a movie on Hiroshima and the devastation of this nuclear bomb. It was just horrific how people's skin were just peeling off their bones. It's just mass destruction. and not just the initial contact, but 200 miles out. I mean, just the heat and the radiation exposure, and having to deal with that. It was just, that's why the Japanese just like threw their hands up. Okay, we give it. It's over. So it's pretty devastating. Anybody who's seen the videos are like, wow, we never want that to happen anywhere. So, but yeah.
All right, you want to move on?
Yes, let's do it. Let's move, keep it rolling.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Yeah! Louder! Show me the money.
So I don't really have a whole lot. I don't have really any numbers.
Okay.
I have a clip, but the biggest thing that I wanted to point out is the Fed lowered interest rates 0.5 point, and that's a big deal to the entire world. Makes borrowing money from the Fed cheaper, which makes borrowing money cheaper for everybody, from car loans to credit card debt to houses, everything. Money's just cheaper now. And I have a clip that just kind of covers the week.
That's perfect.
In finance, and we'll move on after that.
Sounds good.
From an inflation reading in the US to a snapshot of the world economy, these are the stories to watch in business and finance in the coming week. A reading of the Fed's favorite inflation indicator will show if price pressures have continued to moderate. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index is due on September 27th. Investors will also get fresh numbers on consumer confidence and durable goods in the week to come. Flash business activity data, due from Monday onward, will provide the latest snapshot of the state of the world economy. Markets appear happy, for now, that the Fed's half-point rate cut will help avert a U.S. recession, and so a global one. But it's not all rosy. In Germany, the Purchasing Managers' Index moved deeper into contraction territory, and a Chinese economy that is still struggling will likely hurt others. Central banks in Sweden and Switzerland are next up in the great rate-cutting race of 2024. Market participants expect both to lower benchmark rates at their meetings on Wednesday and Thursday, respectively. Markets are split on the size of the Swiss National Bank's cut. Meanwhile, Sweden's Riksbank is all but certain to deliver a 25 basis point cut. Japan's ruling party picks its new leader and, by extension, a new prime minister on September 27th. It's a crowded field of 9, with 3 seen as frontrunners, though with very different policy views. The leadership race complicates the Bank of Japan's job, no matter who wins. A snap election is likely in late October, making policy action at that month's meeting difficult.
That's what I got.
That's enough, man. I mean, it's just we'll get into it a little bit more next week if
That's right.
Right. So
That's right. I didn't have a whole lot of time to grab information on the numbers this week.
Yeah, we're feeling good, so hey, I totally get it. So we can move on to the next one. How far are we into it now?
We are 1 hour and 9 minutes.
Good. What's the next one?
Let's move into sports.
Great. Love sports. I got the numbers for today's game. I don't know if you want to do last week's games, what the scores are, but I know you had a couple things on the score on sports, so do I. So go for it.
All right. What do you want to talk about?
Well, checking out the EPL. My Tottenham Hotspurs are doing pretty good. They beat Brentwood 2-1 last week, and guess what? They beat the number 1 team, Manchester United, 3-0. So, Manchester United in the EPL league from Europe that we've been following. Manchester was number 1. We were ranked number 10. So that knocks us up a couple notches. So we're doing pretty good.
Well, you only get 3 points. You get 3 points, so it's based off of points.
It doesn't matter. We won. I mean,
I know. I get it. I get that. But I'm saying is, it doesn't matter who you beat in the standings. You only get 3 points. So just because you beat the number 1 team doesn't mean you move up any further. You'll move up because you got 3 points, but that's it.
That Manchester United is like their version of the Dallas Cowboys, Europe's
well, Manchester
team.
City is, I think.
Yeah, right. It's called Manchester United, I think.
Well, no, there's Manchester City, I think. Manchester City is the one that's won the championship like 4 years in a row.
Oh, was it? Okay, I thought it was United.
Yeah. No, Manchester United is a very popular team.
Right. They're like the Dallas Cowboys. And they're very. I guess they have a nice place and everything. So, I was just really happy because I was looking at the standings and I was like, we've controlled the ball most of the game and then we lose it at the end. But this time they took control and they won that. How's your team, the Newcastle? Doing?
I didn't look, man.
Oh, you didn't? You didn't?
I haven't looked. I looked the past couple weekends to see if Newcastle was playing on TV, and I didn't see them playing, so I didn't get to watch them.
Yeah, we moved up two notches because of that. When we're in 8th right now, you are in. Wow, I don't even see you.
We must have moved down.
Newcastle, not New. Yeah, Newcastle. You're in 7th, so we're right under you.
We must have lost.
Yeah,
we lost one.
Yeah. So we're right neck and neck. So it's I definitely like to watch one all the way through. I just trying to find the time to do that.
Yeah, so Tottenham must have won 2 in a row.
Yeah, they did.
They won 3 in a row. 2 in a row?
2 in a row. Yeah, they won 2 in a row. They're 3-1 right now.
Yeah, the last 5.
Yeah.
Yep, right there.
Yep.
They won 2 in a row.
Yep. So yeah, I'm tracking that. Probably one of these days when I have time, I'll watch the whole game and figure out who the players are and stuff. I know that it's really big next door, across the pond there in Europe. But yeah, so do you have anything? I know you had a couple things posted in there on the stories and stuff.
Well, Adrian Wozniak. I'm sorry.
I couldn't pronounce his name either. I was trying to figure.
Adrian
Janarowski.
I thought it was Wozniak.
Maybe. I'm definitely not pronouncing that. Wojnarowski.
They call him Woj.
Oh, okay.
He's a college basketball savant. He went to his alma mater, which is St. Bonaventure, I think. Yeah, St. Bonaventure. So he went to go work for St. Bonaventure, which was a big hit to ESPN's college basketball team. Mauricio Pochettino.
I think that's what it is. Long names.
Mauricio Pochettino.
He's from Chelsea, Paris. So
former Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, and Tottenham Hotspur's manager, is the new head coach of the U.S. men's national team.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a pretty big deal for us. It's not a news story, but it's relevant. So he'll be the coach for us when the World Cup comes to the U.S. Tennessee is raising ticket prices. The Tennessee football team, 10%, and they're citing the reason for it being that it costs about $20 million to field a competitive college football team, so they need more money. They said last year they made $75 million.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, that's it, man. Okay, I don't know how you want to do this. The way that we've been doing it before, I've been spouting off stats and stuff like that. I
Right.
don't know if we want to do that going forward. It's very
Maybe not this
uninteresting for
round
people
today.
listening.
Did you say you did want to do that?
No, I think it's uninteresting.
Okay. We don't have to do
I
that.
mean, I mean, we can. I'm not saying like not like the scores of the game, but
Right.
like player stats and stuff like that. I think it was uninteresting. But we can talk about the games. Did you watch any college football?
Last week was pretty crazy for me. I've been working around the house and stuff like that, so I didn't get a chance. I think something was going on Saturday. I think something happened with the family or something. We were doing something, so I did not get involved with anything.
I watched football.
Oh,
I
you
did.
did? I
I
something was
did.
going on. I'm trying to remember. I should look at my calendar. What's going on? Because I knew I had something going on. Oh,
But anyways,
yeah.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah. No,
No,
I
I
didn't. I
watched.
didn't watch it last week.
Yeah, I watched Virginia Tech and Miami play, and it was a great game. It came down to the last play, and the reason why that's relevant is because Miami is one of the top ranked teams. I think they're ranked sixth.
Really?
But Virginia Tech was not ranked, and they were winning for a large portion of the game, and then Miami came back and scored. And then at the very last play of the game, Virginia Tech brought it all the way down and threw a pass in the end zone. And it looked like the Virginia Tech player caught it, but it like landed on a pile of bodies. And they called it a touchdown on the field, and it would have been a walk-off touchdown for Virginia Tech. This was in Miami, but upon review, they said it wasn't a catch. It was such a weird ending to the game. If you saw what happened, it was like a pile of bodies, and the guy looks like he caught it, but at the end, the Miami player swiped it out of his hand, and they called it incomplete.
That was a really good game then.
Oh, it was so good,
I
man.
love those kind of games. Love those
It
kind
was
of
so
games.
good. I was cheering for Miami because Cam Ward has a chance to be the Heisman Trophy winner. He's one of the people that's on Heisman watch right now, and
He's on the Heisman watch?
yeah, he's on the
Wow. So
list.
he must be really amazing then.
He is amazing. This guy is amazing. But they almost lost. Miami almost lost. And that was a in conference game. Virginia Tech and Miami are in the ACC. So they're in the same conference. And so they still might see each other in the conference championship. They have a chance to meet each other there. The other game that I saw was Georgia versus Alabama, and that was a great game. Alabama, I almost shut the game off because Alabama in the first quarter was winning 28-0.
That was a
And
beatdown.
it was a beatdown, man. At least it was in the first quarter, but Georgia came all the way back and was winning at the very end of the game, 34-33. And then one play later, Alabama threw a touchdown and they won it. Georgia actually got the ball back with like a minute and change, and they moved the ball all the way down the field and threw an interception with like under a minute to go.
That's the Bulldogs you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
They're ranked number one, so
number two. They're
number
ranked
two.
number two.
Yeah, who's in first? Ohio?
Texas.
Oh, Texas. That's right, Texas. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, so that really boosted them guys. I mean, because they said the Georgia
Alabama
Tech
was
was
in
the new
fourth.
Alabama.
Yeah.
We'll see what
So
happens.
it was good. Ole Miss lost to Kentucky. That was another good game. I'm trying to think.
What about your team, Nebraska? There, I was looking at the numbers there. They won in overtime, right?
I didn't see.
Yeah, 30. No, Illinois won 31-24. It's his final / overtime. So, yeah, that was a good game, and I noticed that they won yesterday 34-3 against Northern Iowa.
Oh, Nebraska lost to Illinois.
Yeah, they beat Northern Iowa, but I don't think they're ranked at all.
No, Northern Iowa wasn't.
But what about Purdue? They said they beat Purdue. Nebraska to Purdue. That was yesterday. Wow. Okay. They beat Purdue. Isn't Purdue like a really good? I'm not sure what they're ranked at, but I know they're
No,
big.
Purdue's not ranked.
They're not ranked.
No,
Okay.
but that's a Big Ten team.
You're right. Right.
Yeah, that's
So
an in-conference team.
Well, they're doing a lot better than when we went to go watch them. I know that.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit better
A
this
lot
year.
better. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at the scores to see. Oh yeah, Michigan barely beat Minnesota. That was a barn burner.
Well, I missed some good football then.
Yeah, you did. The Ole Miss game was a good game. Kentucky beat Ole Miss, 12th ranked Ole Miss. Oklahoma barely beat Auburn. That was an SEC win for I think that was Oklahoma's first SEC win. I'm looking at the scores. Ohio State beat Michigan State. That's a big game for Ohio State. Penn State beat Illinois. That was a big game. So there were some big games this weekend. Boise State beat undefeated Washington State. Yeah. So, anyways, I guess that's our coverage of the college football.
Yeah, I just throw this in there. I know they're not probably ever going to go to the national championship. They might. My Liberty Flames right now are undefeated. They were going to play yesterday at Appalachia State, I guess, because of the storm they had to cancel it. But yeah, they're undefeated. But some of these teams I'm looking at, like East Carolina, they're not ranked anywhere.
They're not
So,
ranked.
but
Yeah.
I like to follow them. But they're doing pretty good. But your Nebraska, they they look like they're for real this year.
Well, they lost to Illinois, so that's not a very good
Not a
loss.
good one, yeah. So what do you want to cover last week's scores, or or do you want to just go ahead and jump to this week's scores? I don't know what you want to do.
I think I don't care what we do.
Well, I'll give you what I have. I have the scores right here. Starting with the Dallas game on Thursday. I'm not going to get into. I'm just going to, if you want to chime in and just, make your comment or something like that, I'll just go with the scores. These are actually happened as of this week. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Giants 20-15, which it was an ugly loss, is what they said. And I watched the game, and I thought they described that really well.
You mean an ugly win?
Yeah, ugly win. Yeah, ugly win. Yeah. And they lost two key players. They lost Micah Parsons and DeMarcus, the guy that's on the front line. They're two main defensive, for the running and the pass attack. So their defense is going to be crap. So
Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence, right. And New Orleans lost against Atlanta Falcons 26-24 today.
Yep, that was a good game.
That was a good game. I watched that.
What's his name? What's the kicker's name? Woo
Woo. Yeah, right. Woo. Yeah.
He kicked the game-winning field goal.
Right. Yeah, that was. I think he missed one earlier, but he got that one.
Yeah. So what does that make them? 2-2?
Yeah, and New Orleans has been like pretty powerful, and for them to beat them, I mean, they were at home, so that was a big thing, but that was a big win for them. I think
New Orleans dropped off. They lost to Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, right. No, I don't. I think they beat Philadelphia.
No, I think they lost.
They lost against Philadelphia last week.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
They have 2 losses now.
They have 2 losses. Okay, but New Orleans is a good team. So for Atlanta to, they've been the laughing, team of the league in the last couple of years. So they're starting to pick up some respect there. And Cousins is still recovering from his injury, but he's pretty throwing the ball. He's pretty good. Chicago, that quarterback's starting to come around now.
Williams, yeah.
He
played good.
The Rams are struggling. They have, their main guys out, but they beat him 24-18. It was a good win.
It was a good win. I watched that game.
The game that was really fun to watch and I have this guy as my quarterback as Love, for the Green Bay Packers. They were losing quite a bit, and they came back at the end. But Minnesota, I think they're the real deal this year. They
Oh
got a
yeah,
really
they
good
are.
team.
Sam Darnold was my quarterback.
Oh, you have him on? He did really
Yeah.
well. Yeah, he did well
Yeah, he
today.
did good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Did you see the way that the Packers did the onside kick?
right, with that drop kick.
The drop kick.
I don't.
That was
I thought
funky,
he was
huh?
going to pop it up in the air. It has to go at least 10 yards.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know what the
funky.
rule is with the new ruling
It
on that.
has the way that if you do an onside kick, if you're punting it like that, it has to hit the ground first.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
The
it
ball,
didn't
so
do a
he
bounce or
drops the
anything.
ball and it has to bounce off the ground first before the kicker can kick it.
Oh, yeah, it didn't do much of a bounce. It mainly rolled right into the guy's
Yeah, it
arms.
just rolled.
Yeah, it wasn't a good onside kick, but it was still pretty good. And my quarterback gave me like 30 something points, man. He had a really good game. The Indianapolis Colts beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at
Yeah.
home, which was a good game also.
Yeah, I thought Justin Fields played okay.
Yeah,
He had 2 rushing touchdowns?
right. Yeah, his legs have always been his asset. He's getting better throwing the ball, but yeah, he had a good game even though they
Yeah,
lost.
George Pickens had a good game
Oh,
for
he
me
did.
too.
He did.
Yeah.
Right. Denver pulled out a win from the Jets. That
Man,
was
I felt so
something.
bad for Aaron Rodgers, man. I
Yeah,
can't believe that they lost to the Broncos
that guy
by one
should have
point.
made that field goal. If he would have made the field goal, they'd have won. It was doable. He just wasn't doing well that
It
day.
was more of a baseball score than a football
Yeah, I
score,
know.
10
It
to
was just
9.
it was one of those kind of games that
Funky game.
yeah. And you're rooting for him because he's an old guy, and in his heyday he was the man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm definitely cheering for the Jets this year.
yeah, they have a good defense. It just they just weren't connecting, and they put a lot of pressure on him. Denver's defense, and that guy Surtain had their main guy totally wrapped up. I don't think he got much of anything because he's so good,
Now,
Surtain.
did Breece Hall get hurt?
Oh man, I hope not. I just got rid of his backup. Oh man,
I don't
that's
know. The
oh
only reason why I
man,
asked that is because he only got 2 points for me in
oh
fantasy. So,
oh
I don't
man.
know if
I hope
he's
that's not
hurt or
the
not.
case. I just got rid of his backup for I just dropped him and picked up somebody
Who's the
else.
backup?
Allen, and he's amazing. I don't know why I dropped him. That was a dumb move. I picked up Javon Williams from Denver, which he's their number one guy, but he isn't doing anything. But he runs pretty good, but it just not anything big. The
All
other
right.
game that was really good. I mean, the Bake Show. They whooped Philadelphia Eagles, man.
Yeah.
They beat them 33 to
Yeah,
16,
Baker
hands down.
Mayfield looks like he's
He looks
playing.
like the real
Yeah.
deal. Yeah. So good for him. That was a good win for him.
33 to 16.
Yep, 33-16. It looks like Joe Burrows, but they didn't really play anybody, is coming back. Cincinnati beat the Carolina Panthers 34 to 24, which they needed that win. I have one of the receivers on my team, Higgins. So Houston and Jacksonville was a good game. I watched part of that.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Jags.
I know that they could have had
They
that
should have
game.
won that
They
game.
should have won that game. You're right. But you know who's coming around is Washington. Holy crap. 42 to 14. They beat the Arizona Cardinals. Those Commanders, man, that quarterback, that guy Daniels, wow,
Yeah,
he's
Jaden
starting to
Daniels.
come on his own, and they're protecting him now. And
We
now
missed
things,
part of that game because we started recording, but it looks
right,
like they
right.
smoked the Cardinals.
Oh, they smoked them. I mean, that was,
42 to
and Cardinals are a good
42 to
team.
14.
So,
Yeah, they are.
yeah, so that was, and they're in our division, man, the Cowboys. So we'll see. We're going to be seeing them pretty soon. So we'll see
Yes,
what
we will.
happens. Yeah. San Francisco, that was a no-brainer. I knew they were going to beat the New England
Oh, yeah.
Patriots. Yeah, they're just figuring
No
it out.
question. Yeah,
Uh,
30
La-
to 13.
Las Vegas pulled it out, 20 to 16. I
They
watched
were
part of that.
losing when we were
Right,
started
right,
recording.
right. I have their running back, Zamir White. I don't know what he did. I haven't checked yet. Kansas City, man, they were losing 10 to nothing when I
Yeah, they
left.
were losing, man. They came back and won again.
Just like Grandpa said, he said, they got Mahomes. He's like another Tom Brady. You never
They
can rule him
lost
out.
They lost Rashee Rice.
Oh, they did. Wow, their
Yeah,
main receiver. That's
Yep,
terrible.
they lost in that game.
Yeah, that's too bad,
His
man.
knee.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So he'll be out for a little bit then.
Yeah.
Wow. How's your fantasy football doing with all that?
Not great, man. I'm losing.
Are you? I'm not gloating, but I was in second place, and the guy I was playing is in first place, and I'm beating him right now, 105 to 66. And he has, I'll tell you what players. I still might have a chance. I don't know. We'll see. He still has Metcalf to play, Jay Flowers from Baltimore, and that's it. So I'm up on him almost 39 points. So it says on here I'm favored to win 87 to 13, but I've seen other things happen where these guys have blowout games. But the Baltimore Ravens are playing Buffalo, and then the Detroit Lions are playing Seattle. So I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game, either one of those. So hopefully I'll win. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I know that you're just getting back into it. So, but sports, we do love sports. I know that.
Well,
we made it through. How far did we get? How long?
1 hour, 32 minutes.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say, son. I hope you feel better this week, man.
Yeah,
so.
I'm hoping I'll be prepared for the podcast next week a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, this Riverside thing.
What?
No, I'm just gonna have to do like a checklist for this. Getting on and stuff. It didn't seem too bad. We'll see how you do with this new program. So.
Yeah. Hopefully everything recorded fine. We'll find out. We like to end the podcast with we're thankful.
We're blessed.
We're grateful.
Yeah, we're definitely.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too, man. I hope you feel better this week. All right, I'll be talking to you later. I'll see you next week.
That's it. That's how we do Breaking Soil. Barely touch on some stuff and talk about it in ways that we know nothing about.
Yeah,
we're man.
Take care, son.
All right.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.